Hello, everyone. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Happy Monday, Haley, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Happy Monday, Micah.
And it is the Monday Lunchtime Digest where we tell you about what's going on at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute and also what's going on in the world of mental health. And you have a chance to win free continuing education. So, Haley, what's going on at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute?
My friends, being that it is the 5th of May, we are only 10 days away from our fourth annual Summer Super Summit. And so this year's summit will take place May 15th and 16th next week. We'll have 2 days of continuing education and a lot of fun. I'm very, very happy to welcome Terrence Walton, who's the executive director of NATIC, and Dr. Brian Cooey, who's the executive director of Arcadia Trails, as our keynote speakers this year. But along with Dr. Cooey and Mr. Walton, we'll have a jam-packed schedule with everything from a live snake exposure to medication-assisted treatment to incorporating play in our sessions with kiddos and much, much more. And so you can check out the full lineup today at summersupersummit.com, and you can register as well by going to counselinginstitute.org. We hope to see you there. We also have our on top of all that, all the speakers and whatnot, we'll also have our Thursday night networking group too. And so not only can you get your continuing education, but you also can connect with your colleagues and have a bit of fun too. And I've heard there might be some massages as well. Heard it through the grapevine.
Yes, yes, that is the hope anyway, is for us to be able to get our masseuses back and trying to settle the details there because apparently they're very, very popular. And so we've been very lucky to have them the last couple of years. But, we have a great lineup. You can go to summersupersummit.com and see the speakers that we have lined up and the topics. And, Haley, I know that we're biased, but
Well,
I look at other conferences and look at, the things that are the topics that will be discussed, the presentations. And usually out of maybe 20 things, there's like three that I'm like, oh, that looks interesting. But then the vast majority of them just looks kind of like, not that interesting to me personally. But at the Summer Super Summit, I think that the vast majority of it, if not all of it, is going to be interesting for people. And so my desire, and I know yours is too, is whenever people come and they see the agenda, that they have a hard time picking like which one do I want to go to because all of it looks so great. And so we're really excited to be doing this again this year. We're having a lot of people sign up. So you want to go ahead and sign up now to make sure that you're able to get a place and to join us at the summit.
absolutely. This will be 13 hours of drug and alcohol addiction specific CEs, 3 hours of supervision, 4.5 hours of ethics. And so the grand total of at least up to 14 hours of CEUs you can get. And so make sure you sign up today, as Micah said, and we hope to see you next Thursday.
That's right. And if you're an Oklahoma social worker or Oklahoma licensed alcohol and drug counselor and you need those direct contact hours for drug and alcohol therapists, we have 10 drug and alcohol specific hours, which is what you need to have for direct contact. So you come to the Summer Super Summit and you will get all the direct contact hours that you need for those drug and alcohol specific hours. So we are really excited to be doing this and we'll be excited to see you guys there. But I know that we also have some workshops coming up in June. So what do we have coming up in June, Haley?
So, Saturday, June 7th, we're happy to welcome back Lisa King. So, Lisa King will be doing two awesome trainings. The first one will be on working with trauma and substance abuse. And so that will be 3 hours of addictions counseling specific. In the afternoon, she'll be talking about building resilience among clients who have gone through trauma. And so June 7th, that is 6 hours of CEUs, 2 3-hour workshops, drug and alcohol specific in the morning and general in the afternoon. Actually, the afternoon was general and strength based. And so if you are a caseworker and you need those strength based CEUs, that will be a great training to join. And then on Saturday, June 14th, we're going to welcome back Kayla Jones. So Kayla Jones, we love her very much. We love all our presenters, but we're a little biased because Kayla used to work for us. But Kayla is going to do a 3-hour presentation on introduction to sex therapy in the morning and 3-hour presentation on the ethics of marriage counseling in the afternoon. And then our last Saturday for our in-person workshop season will be Saturday, June 21st. And we're going to welcome back Jamie Lavecchio in the morning. Jamie Lavecchio is going to be talking about substance abuse counseling and harm reduction. In the afternoon, our very own Terry Schuline will be talking about supervision. And so Terry's topic for supervision is really interesting. So her supervision topic will be about helping your supervisees to find their modality that they best click with. And so I think that even me as not a supervisor, I think that'll be really helpful for me to attend, because I think that's interesting if I ever want to incorporate different modalities in my own treatment. So I'm looking forward to learning more from Terry. She has 30 years of experience as a clinician and many, many years as a supervisor. And so we'll be jam-packed with lots of live CEs between now and the end of June.
Yeah, so if you can't come to the summit, then come join us in June, or come to the summit and finish up your CEs by joining us in June. Or you can attend our on-demand courses that we have. And we have, what is it, Hayley, over 60 on-demand courses at this time?
Over 60. And so if you combine our Summer Super Summit with our June trainings and our on-demand catalog, I think we have about 220 hours of continuing education that we're offering right now. And so whether you like to take your trainings in person or be snug as a bug in a rug at home on your computer, we have options for you.
Yes, absolutely. And all of our continuing education is approved by the different Oklahoma boards. We meet all the criteria for them, or our providers for them. So Oklahoma Board of Behavioral Health for LPCs, LMFTs, the Oklahoma Drug and Alcohol Board for Oklahoma LADCs and CADCs, and then also the Oklahoma State Board of Social Work for Oklahoma social workers. So we cover all of them. And then we're also an NBCC provider. So that's the National Board of Certified Counselors. So for people who are out of state or maybe have dual licenses, maybe they're licensed in another state as well, then a lot of state boards will accept NBCC continuing education credit. So you just want to make sure that you check with your specific state board just to make sure that they do, but the vast majority of them do. So we're also an NBCC provider, and we love seeing, of course, people from Oklahoma take our courses, but we love seeing ones that show up from other places throughout the country, and that's always exciting as well.
Absolutely. And just a quick reminder, as of March, the Licensed Alcohol and Drug Counselor Board will no longer be listing single courses on their website. And so if you don't see our single courses on there, it's not that we're not approved. Just from now on, Rick and Kathy are just asking folks to input the names of the courses themselves. And so if you don't see us on there, we are approved providers. Approved provider number 2025-0018 from what I remember. And so you can still find us. We are approved. Just let us know if you have any questions on that.
Yes, thank you, Hayley. And what's going on in the world of mental health, Hayley?
So I have a couple of stories today. So the first one is a local story. And so according to KOSU, employees with the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services received word that there might be difficulty in getting them their paychecks. So according to the official, the first memo they received, the department needed more money in order to pay employees by May 7th. But now that deadline has been pushed to May 21st. So according to KOSU, the department will be able to continue to pay employees until May 7th, but May 21st is whenever the department may be short on funds. So as we've talked about over the past few weeks, the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services are currently being audited due to a potential almost $63 million shortfall in their budget. Mm-hmm. And so in the House of Representatives committee meeting, initially, Commissioner Friesen and CFO Skip Leonard said they only needed $6.2 million in order to make it to the end of July, which is end of their fiscal year. But since then, about 8 days later, they said that now they need $23 million in order to make it to the end of July. And so the CFO Leonard and Commissioner Friesen are supposed to get the budget request to the House by the end of May, because that's whenever the lawmaker session is out. So far, they have not received that as of the publishing of that article, which was a couple of days ago. And so hopefully they can get that budget to the House. That way they can approve not only the appropriations they need to get through to the end of the summer, but also they know how much money they'll need to be able to run next year. And so we're still in a to be continued. A lot more information has come out about what the needs are and how significant the budget shortfall is, but not a lot of word has happened on where that shortfall has come from. I know that Attorney General Gettner has called for Commissioner Friesen's resignation, but Stitt has stood up for her and said that, no, I appointed her for a reason. And so I think it's really hard for us. It's tempting to want to point fingers, but it's really important that we don't until we get more information. I think right now we're up to 4 different agencies that are auditing the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services as of right now. And so I'm eager to see what their audits say.
Yeah. And I actually have, I know you talked about sticking up for her, and I actually have in front of me the quote. It's from the KOCO website, an article that they just released yesterday. And so Stitt said the troubling issues that have continued to emerge at the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services are the result of years of mismanagement. These challenges did not arise overnight. When I appointed Commissioner Allie Friesen, I specifically charged her with shining a light on the agency, rooting out longstanding problems, and building a more accountable and transparent department. What we're seeing now is a necessary and painful result of that mission being carried out with integrity and urgency. So, yes, he's definitely still siding with her, saying that, as you already said, that he appointed her for a reason. So she came in there and saw that the budget was a mess and asked for an audit to be done. And now they're just trying to correct all of that that's going on. So whether people feel like that she's doing a great job at that or not a great job at that, she certainly was just dropped in the middle of this mess, it sounds like. So anyway, a lot going on at the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health Substance Abuse Services right now.
Absolutely. We'll be following this story and hopefully be able to give you all some updates as the weeks go on.
Thank you. All right. And what else is going on, Hayley?
And so another bit of news I have comes nationally. So this is from the Journal of Environmental Psychology. And so in this journal article, what the researchers is, they looked at what is the difference between doing a guided imagery in which somebody imagines nature versus an urban environment. And so what they found was that, so they put their participants through a series of interventions that lead to stress. So they stress them out first, and then they prime them with looking at either words associated with nature or words associated with urban environments, and then prompted them to do 5 minutes of imagery where they're imagining an environmental environment versus an urban environment. And what they found was that those folks who preferred nature, those folks who reported that they enjoyed nature, had a significant reduction in stress whenever they were imagining nature environments compared to whenever they were imagining urban environments. Mm-hmm. Now, both situations led to a decrease in stress, and so a decrease in stress was measured not only by self-report, but also through biological functions such as skin response and heart rate. But basically what it found is that if you like nature and you do a guided imagery, either way, your stress will likely go down. But if you do a guided imagery where you are imagining things in nature that you like, statistically significantly, your stress will go down even further. And so it was really interesting that it wasn't just the guided imagery, but it is the imagining the nature that really led to the significant decrease in stress. Mm-hmm. Now, if somebody said they didn't prefer nature, let's say that they're, scared of bugs or they don't want to go camping or whatever their reason is, then it really didn't have that significant of effect. Just imagining doing the guided imagery was helpful enough. But that being said, if you enjoy nature, which I know that I do, and I know, Micah, you've gone on a hike in the last couple of weeks. I know that you enjoy nature too. So if you enjoy nature, not just doing a guided imagery, but doing something that incorporates that love of nature can further help to reduce that stress, according to this research article. So very interesting.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And, I think when you say if people prefer nature, then they responded, better to this. And as you've already said, people who maybe don't like bugs or snakes or something, if we just say, hey, I'm going to lead you in this guided imagery, I want you to close your eyes and imagine yourself, in a field or something, then that's going to increase their anxieties. And the first thing that I thought of as you were talking about that was the importance of us when we suggest something to a client. I think of it as figuratively putting it out on the table and saying, hey, what do you think about this? Mm-hmm. And so rather than just launching into a guided imagery where they may not find it relaxing at all, to say, hey, I have a guided imagery of being out in nature, or I also have one of being on the beach, or I also have one of sitting in a quiet library, something like that. Would one of these, do you think, be helpful for you? And they say yes or no. Which one would you like to do? And they pick, as opposed to just us pulling out a script and just launching right into it. So that's really, really interesting about the research finding that.
Absolutely. And I think about the same thing. I use Therapist Aid a lot, and Therapist Aid has a lot of guided imageries and guided meditations. Mm-hmm. And they have ones for mountains, they have ones for a beach, they have ones for, going for a walk. And they also have one sitting in a French courtyard and watching people go by. And so I remember suggesting a meditation once, and they had the mountain meditation. In my head, oh, I love the mountains. I suggested it to a client, and they're like, I'm afraid of heights. I'm like, okay, that is not the meditation for you, my friend.
Yes. Yeah. And being able to present something and then ask our client what they think about that. That's
Mhm.
something that comes from motivational interviewing. I'm sure that there's other approaches out there that use that as well, but that's just the one that I remember hearing about that and drawing that from that. And I know we had Jamie, what last name, Labacchio? Isn't that
Lavecchio.
who recently did a motivational interviewing training for us, and that is in the on-demand catalog as well. So if you want to kind of learn more about motivational interviewing, then certainly check out her stuff. And then, as you've already mentioned, she's going to be at the summers, or excuse me, she's going to be in June, going to be doing some more workshops for us in June as well.
Which will be at the summit, but as an attendee. I look forward to seeing her there too.
Right. All right. Well, thank you. So, Hayley, who is our winner for this week?
So our winner for this week is my good friend, Stephen Resendez. Yay, Stephen.
Hey, congratulations, Stephen. You have won an on-demand course. And so you just contact us at hello@edmondcounseling.com, or also you can text us at the number you see there and let us know which on-demand course that you would like. But thank you so much for watching and commenting. And so how can people be like Stephen, Hayley?
So you can be, I don't know if you can be like Steven. Steven's one of a kind. I'm just kidding. You can be a winner like Steven by liking this post, sharing this post, or commenting your answer to today's question. Anytime you do one or all three of those things, you get entered into a chance to win next week's drawing. And you also help us grow, help us be seen by others. So thank you for your support.
Yes, thank you so much. So what is our question for this week, Hayley?
So our question for this week is, so I'm going to kind of change my questions. Initially, the question was, where's your favorite place to be in nature? But after we had that discussion, some people might not like to be in nature. So maybe tell us, where's your favorite place to be that's relaxing for you? If you could spend an afternoon doing some self-care or just relaxing, where would that place be? And so, Micah, where would that place be? Would that be in nature for you? Would that be somewhere else? Or where in particular would be
Oh
relaxing?
man, if it's just kind of a place to be to relax, I'm very much a homebody, so I think like, oh, on my couch at home. But I do love being out in nature, and so I love the Wichita Mountains, and so being down there and kind of hiking around down there is really, really enjoyable. As a kid, I went to Yosemite, and that was the most beautiful place that I have seen, and so I would love to go back to Yosemite at some point, but I would say probably something that I could just jump in the car and go to, that would be the Wichita Mountains. That's for me. How about you for Hayley?
Oh man, that is a really good choice. I'm like you. I like to be in nature as well. So I think my place would be Keystone State Park or
Mm,
Keystone Ancient Forest up by Tulsa area, Sand Springs.
nice. Nice. We'll
Yeah,
have to check that out. I don't know if I've been up. I've kind of been around that area, but I don't
yeah,
think I've been to that state park in particular. So wonderful.
right
So
by the
let
Forest
us
of Peace.
go. Yeah, right by the Osage Forest of Peace, which is a wonderful place.
Mm-hmm.
So let us
Awesome.
know what your favorite place is to relax, and if it's out in nature, or if you're a homebody, if it's at home, or maybe in that French cafe that you talked about a minute ago, and put that in the comments. Anytime that you put a comment in, or you like or share this post, then you will be entered into the drawing for a chance to win free continuing education.
Yes. So thank you all so much for your support.
Yes, thank you guys. And as always, anytime that you tell a colleague about us, that you attend a workshop, a live webinar, on-demand course, you are helping to meet the mission of providing quality continuing education in Oklahoma. So thank you guys so much for your help, and everybody have a good week and a happy Cinco de Mayo.
Have a good week.
Bye, everyone.